Hey everybody, I know I've been pretty MIA. I'm alive. I just thought I would check in today, let people know I am still alive, and I've been working on a bunch of different things and have produced nothing of note to show anybody. But I wanted to show you what I'm working on today and to also talk about a little bit the surprise that I have gotten from this Martelli Sensational Advantage table. It was a huge splurge for me. It's very hard for me to think about spending, that kind of money on a table. However, I really can't express enough how much it has changed the game for me in my sewing room. I can cut and trim and sew, and I use this little stool to go to the serger and the cover stitch, as well as the embroidery machine. And then of course, all around the work table and this machine. And of course, I have my other machine where I'm also piecing. So anyway, but back to the Martelli. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. Having this table raise and lower, I use it a lot standing, sometimes flat. But when I'm doing a lot of this trimming, which I'll explain a little bit more later, you're doing lots and lots of pieces, and I'm not even 25% of the way done. To be able to sit on this saddle stool and be able to cut at an angle, at an upward angle, and again, you can customize the angle to whatever is comfortable for you. There's some storage underneath. I just can't tell you how much more comfortable this is for my hand. Which I have a lot of problems with my hand. Anybody who's been following me for a while knows that. So, yeah. And these, the other thing I want to say is that things will slide if you don't have something grippy to hold on. You don't want these rulers these are 1/8 inch, I think. They'll shatter if they hit the wooden floor. So having something grippy to put them on when you're not using them, but you're in between stages is, I think, important. You can make one of these yourself. These came with my setup for my table from Martelli, and they do sell them, and they're great. But you could make your own with drawer liner, the rubbery drawer liner, and if you glued it to whether it's foam board or wood, it would work the same way. In fact, I wonder if that's what this is, because it's rubbery. So anyway, and it keeps everything, it's not going to move. So that is fantastic. And I love these quick curve rulers. The only thing I don't like about this one is with these instructions, when you're cutting out your pieces, then you're trimming them down. Basically what they're having you do is make the outside piece a lot bigger than what you need. Well, not a lot, but bigger than what you need. Do believe the hype. If you look for these on YouTube, watching people use them, believe it. It's as easy as they show it to be. But what I can't do is read these tiny markings against fabric that's printed very well. So what I did was I had my husband cut me a 4 1/4 square of acrylic on the laser. You could certainly use cardboard, foam board. You could 3D print something, whatever floats your boat. But it just made it a lot easier for me to put something that is the size it needs to be on the fabric and cut. So that's my little tip for that. I know I sound like a Martelli ad, but honestly, I can't believe how great these things are to use. Their rotary cutter is awesome. And these little thread snips that are not expensive at all are the sharpest, nicest thread snips I've ever had. And again, they came with my table. I didn't buy them separately, as does the cutting mat, which is also nice. I put the extra cutting mat that they had sent me over this part of the table, but this big mat, I'm not gonna be able to show you this, fits into, it's flush with the table. There's a cutout here for your mat. So that's also really nice. But they had the big mats back ordered, and they had a problem with supply chain. So he sent me this smaller one to, get me going. Very, very nice company to deal with. Very customer focused. Really like them. So anyway, I am working on this quilt. I have a couple of other ideas that I have circulating around in my head that are distracting me, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do today. But I am, when hubby is done cleaning the porch, I did half of it, I'm going to ask him to cut me 5-inch squares out of these fabrics here so that I can continue along with this project. And I don't know where we'll go from there, but I have another quilt project that I'm thinking about. This is for a little boy. So I don't know what's going to happen today, but I wanted to let you know that I'm still here. I'm alive, and I hope you're all having a weekend where you get to finish a project and stand back and take it all in and be thrilled with it. I am not having that weekend.